Hey guys, welcome back to Marriages Restored in Faith. My name is Ray.
Hi guys, my name is Dora. It is Sunday, March 23rd, 2025. And just a couple more days, well, about a week before you finish March.
Yeah, about a week and we're done with March and start in April.
Yep.
We actually haven't had bad weather these past couple of days. It's been decent, a little bit of breezy wind, whatever, but it's not much. And if you're paying attention, you are seeing all the wildfires going around. I don't know why they call them wildfires. It's just out there in the wilderness, I guess. But all these fires that are going on, but it's no longer out there just in the middle of nowhere. It's happening inside the cities. If you're not paying attention, there's several in Texas. I believe there's 3 or 4 as I'm speaking right now. You still have the Houston area. Something to really think about. Go back and I should have. I just thought about this. Actually, we had a discussion that my mind is 100 miles an hour and I can't slow it down. But go back and look at that article. Do you remember what it was called?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Where all the cities are on there for the smart cities.
Smart cities.
Yes. If you remember that, we pulled up an article for you and we showed you every city and every country where basically it was all United States, and it was showing you where they were going to do the smart cities. Go back and pay attention to those smart cities that they claim that those are the cities they're going to be set up for. What event is happening in those places? And I said, when we're looking at it, Houston was one of them, and I had mentioned to Dora, I said, this is one that we need to watch and see what is happening in the Houston area moving on in 2025. There's fires around Houston right now.
Yes.
There are major fires, and they're saying they're not contained. We have strong winds. I mean, there's things that we have to kind of look logically instead of just saying, I'm not going to believe it. It's impossible. Because people are actually acting that way as we speak.
Yeah, well, and I do also believe that a lot of that's got to do with they just don't want to see reality, what's really happening. They want to just, be like, I'm living my life and just doing what I need to do, and as long as it's not happening to me. Well, that's not a very good way of thinking.
Yeah, well, they'll say, well, as long as I have my house, my cars, my car payments, my house payments, as long as I have a savings account, as long as I leave my money alone, whatever happens, happens. No. Just think about it this way. If there's a group to your left and they start taking out one by one from your left, one by one on your right, and you don't speak up and you don't get in, the right doesn't get in for the left doesn't get in for the right, they don't speak up, they don't do anything. Guess what happens when all the ones on the left are gone and all the ones on the right are gone? Who do you think's next?
Yeah.
You. When they take care of the left, who do you think they're going to come back after? The right. And so on. People have not realized and actually put that into perspective of saying, okay, they're going after a certain minority, a certain group, and yet the other groups are being quiet. Instead of speaking up and saying, hey, we need to come together and we need to help one another. And they don't. Yeah. And it happens inside religion, inside the church. And you can, in fact, we've heard this from pastors here in the city, that they say, well, I tried to bring other pastors together and we couldn't come together because our theology or because we disagreed with something. We couldn't come together in order to fight with whether it was trying to close all the churches in 2020. We couldn't come together to go and speak to the politicians. We couldn't come together and agree, look, this is something that's being attacked. All of us are being attacked on one time, and we need to come together and go and speak to the politicians. They couldn't even come together with that. They couldn't even put their differences. I'm not saying that you should say, you know what, I'm going to get together with somebody and say, I'm going to go ahead and twist and manipulate scripture just to get with somebody. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I am saying that at that moment, at that time, everyone should come together and say, wait a minute, they're attacking our food supply, our skies. They're basically spraying people like bugs.
Yes.
And yet people can't come together and say, wait, we have to come together and bring it up to the politicians, bring it up to the government and say enough is enough. But they don't. I know I started pretty quick and hard because this is talking about the savings account being confiscated, and people don't believe that that is happening. Let me share some videos with you before we get into that. Let me share number 5 because people don't believe that this is really happening as well. And we've mentioned this before, that these people are from a different country, but keep in mind, there's open borders.
Yes. Yes.
Now we have these type of people all over. It's not in just one location any longer.
Right. You can't say, well, that's a third world country that's happening in. No, it's happening here.
Taste.
I like salt.
Like salt?
After die, blood become water,
Huh.
and water become a salt.
Whenever you eat a human, are they already dead or are they alive?
No, death.
Dead.
Dead people, and I like eat as well.
How do you find like a dead human?
Many, because there are holy man, pregnant, child. There are many bodies they cannot get burned.
Yeah.
So they put in river after couple of hours, suppose time.
Yep.
Body came up.
Do you eat it raw or do you cook it?
Both.
Both.
No, we don't cook.
Wow. It's very interesting to me. And do you know whose head this was?
You know.
You knew him personally.
I know.
How'd he die?
How he die? He natural die. He
Natural.
become old, yes. More than 75 years.
So he was a gori?
No, he's not a gori. He's a sadhu.
Are there certain people you don't eat?
No,
But like say, can you eat other goris when they die?
of course, why not?
So any kind of person.
It's not necessary.
Okay. Is there anyone
It's
in
not
the
important.
is there anyone in the world you would really want to?
And it's not important. If it's bad,
Yeah.
a gori, no problem.
Okay.
We eat body as well.
How does human taste?
kind of leaves people speechless that it's like you're having a normal conversation with somebody, that they're not alerted of any type of sense of alertness, no type of is this wrong, is this right, no sense of saying that you don't eat people, we do. I mean, there's no sense of that. It's like, oh, it's normal for them, as normal it is for us to eat a steak at a steakhouse from a cow. Just as normal as them. As if we was to eat bacon from pigs, you know. I mean, it's to them it's just as normal as if we went to the restaurant to go eat.
Yeah.
That should say a lot. But you try to explain that to people and tell people, look, this is really happening, and they are eating people, and people here in the United States, especially here in the United States, it's like United States people have been living in a bubble. And other countries look at United States and say, wake up, people.
Oh, yeah.
Wake up, get out of that bubble. Get a needle and pop that bubble that you're living in. And look out and see what is happening. And yet people don't see it. You can show people this video and they'll be like, oh no, those are paid actors.
Yeah, those are paid actors. They, that's probably, filmed in some little lake somewhere,
Well, it's impossible. The people are not going to do that. I don't see people doing stuff like that. That's what they'll say. Let me show you something else. You can give me number 6. And people have said that, in fact, I felt my phone really hot at one time. But that phone was already pretty much on its last breath, I guess.
Yes.
Put it that way. It was pitting and yeah. I had tape on it.
Bad.
Yeah, I had tape to hold it.
Yeah, so you can't say that, it could have just been that it was already going to malfunction just because of everything else you were doing to it.
But I want you to watch this one.
No sound?
Oh, because it's got the music, I think. I mean, I get it that he's trying to put out the fire and she's on fire. That's why she's running. There's no, I mean, it's only natural to because you're in pain. But that phone explodes.
She's like, what am I going to do?
Yeah, and as you can see, she got 1st and 2nd degree burns. So, do I carry a phone? I usually carry a phone in my back pocket as well because I don't have no other place. I don't have a purse. So let me show you another one before we get to it. If you can give me number 4, and then we'll get into what we were discussing about the savings account being confiscated. Yes, and this was actually posted. There's actually a video of it discussing it. There's another video that I need to pull up for you. And I just thought about it today, but I have it written down in the shop, so I have to actually go back to the shop to get it. And they're literally telling you from their own mouth that digital currency is for total control. Yeah, from their own mouth, they said that. We'll go ahead and play this one, and then we'll get into our subject.
Fuck! Ow! 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 Don't move! It's okay. It's okay. Accidents happen. It's not a big deal. No, we don't care about accidents happen. Willow, do you not see what you just did? You pierced my nose with consistency. I know. I don't know yet. I can't even see. Right now I'm gonna cut the line. Ah! It's not your fault, Willow. I walked up behind you while you were casting. It's okay, guys. Don't freak out. Ah! Yeah, that just happened. Ah. Fuck! Ow! 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 Don't move.
Now, can I honestly say that I would react that way? I'm telling, that just got hooked. And if you know anything about fishing, man, those hooks go in different directions.
Oh, yeah.
When they get hooked, it's not just that you can just pull it out like this.
No. You have to
The hook is
wiggle
like this,
itself.
and then there's another hook like this. It's usually like this.
Well, yeah, it depends on what type of hook he was using.
Yeah.
Yeah. But hopefully, because it was his son, that he was just using a one anchor hook. And I know a little bit about fishing. And so when Ray showed me that, I was like, oh, yeah, I've seen that happen thousands of times. But, hopefully just because, it was his son, it was just the one hook and he could. But still, even with the one hook, painful. You have to wiggle that sucker out. And
it's going to tear, yeah.
And it was his dad's fault. Yeah.
He walked right behind him while he was doing that.
And you don't do that.
What are we taught? Every time you look back to see before you cast it, and you're also paying attention where you're walking while you're fishing, because that can happen. Oh, yeah. That was one of the biggest things that I kind of dislike whenever I was in a fishing boat, is everybody casting. I'm like, I'm just paying attention because I don't want to get caught, Everybody's throwing the catch. You stay over there in the corner and I'll get on this corner, but yeah. Right. So let's get to it. Let me show you, if you can give me number 2, the article, and we're going to get straight to it. Savings accounts being confiscated. And I know what you're thinking right now. This is not going to happen in the United States. It is literally impossible. The United States is the best country ever lived. The government is for you. Government will never blow up any buildings. Government will never do anything like that. Government will never shut any business down. Government will never take your taxes. Government is there to give you as much money as they possibly can to help you out. The government is there to buy you houses and vehicles. And yeah, that's, I guess, a fairy tale. Mm-hmm. You'll probably see that in those little cartoons. Are people awake now? Look what it says right here. European Commission to use 10 trillion euros of citizens' savings for EU defense. Just think of that right there. I don't want this article to move any further. I just want it to be right there. I really want you to look at that. And I really want you to focus on that. And you may say, how can they possibly take people's savings accounts? It's easy. Push of a button. It's removed. It literally is removed.
Yes.
How much more easier would it be it being a digital currency?
Oh, yeah.
Nobody else having any cash. So there's no transactions. You're not able to do any transactions anymore because it's a digital currency. How much more easier would that be for them to say, the next morning, this is what we're going to use your money for? Right now, it's a little bit more harder. Why? More difficult. Why? Because these people, anybody can go into their bank and withdraw their money and get cash. Go put it under the mattress or whatever. And then they can go purchase items that they need. They can still conduct business right now. But once it becomes digital, it's no longer tangible. You can no longer go to the bank and say, I need my digital currency. They'll be like, it's computerized. I can't hand it to you. You can get your laptop, you can get your iPad, you can get your phone, and you can see it there, but you can't tangibly hold it any longer because it's digital. Do you see what is happening? And this is what they're talking about. And I know now they're going back and they're backtracking and saying, wait a minute, we kind of misspoke. It was taken out of context. The interpretation was wrong. Now they're backtracking. But just think about that. They're saying their funding, their money system, their economy is going downhill. And they need to use your money to fund the war. At least that's their excuse.
Yes.
So think of it this way also. Now we just heard another one and she was mentioning, well, they said that they want to open up a stock market for you to purchase stocks for the war to help you. How much better is that? Just think about that. If the stock market goes down, do they have a big dumpster that they get everybody's money, throw it in the dumpster and light it on fire and say, I'm sorry, the stock market went down, let's get everybody's money, throw it in there and let's light it up? No. Somebody is collecting the money. They don't go and pick up all the ATM machines and dump it in the trash can and say, okay, since the banking system went down, we're going to go burn all the cash. No. I mean, do we really need to start thinking logically and saying, okay, what is happening with the stock market when it crashes? Where's all that money going? Who collects that money?
That money has to go somewhere. Why? Because it's tangible. You know, you can go and withdraw that money out.
Somebody deposited somewhere.
Somebody deposited somewhere. That's right.
So now they're saying here to use citizens' savings for EU purposes for the defense. You may say that's not really happening. Let me show you a video. And we're not going to play the entire video, but I recommend that you watch this video, and I usually rarely recommend you watch any video. I want you to watch this video in its entirety, but we won't play it all. We'll start in about the 3-minute mark. And we'll play maybe a couple of minutes of it, probably about the 5:30 or something like that. I want you to pay attention to what she is saying and what she is not saying. I always say, pay attention to what someone is not saying in their conversation, in their statement, in their speech, because there's a lot to be said in there. And listen to what they're saying about people's savings accounts and how they're going to control the money that the people have in Europe.
And spark a new wave of capital throughout Europe. Growth isn't just a byproduct of the Savings and Investments Union. It's a central objective because maintaining Europe's economic power is also a matter of our collective security. The Savings and Investments Union is a sector-agnostic enabler for the financing of all the priorities listed in the Competitiveness Compass and Rearm Europe. It aims to make the EU's financial market deeper and more liquid, and thereby more efficient in channeling financial resources to productive investments. It's about strengthening Europe for the challenges of the present and the future. It's part of our Readiness 2030 strategy. There is strong political...
Did you get it? She said it's part of their 2030 strategy. What is their 2030 agenda? Go look up the 2030 agenda. What is their motto on the 2030 agenda? Do you remember?
That you will be happy and own nothing.
Yeah. Well, actually, it was the opposite. You will own nothing.
You will own nothing and be happy.
It's not that you'll be happy. No. You will own nothing first. That's their main goal. You will own nothing and be happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
And some of us have thought about, how is that even possible that you can own nothing and be happy? Well, have you heard of the generation? This generation said that they would rather not own anything, and it would make them happier not to own anything, because then it takes the responsibility away from them, and they have no responsibility to maintain a home, to maintain a vehicle, to maintain a bank account. They mentioned that they'd rather not have any checks, any cash, because it's easier to do everything with their phone or with a credit card. They said it's easier to rent because they don't have to maintain the property. They said it's easier to walk or ride a bike instead of driving, because now they don't have to have insurance and they don't have to maintain the vehicle. To them, it's cheaper. Just think about that. They've already started programming people to accept the being happy, owning nothing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, just think about that.
Right. And you might say, well, how did it get to that point? Well, because it's convenience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the convenience of not having to look at your check account. Why? Because everything automatically comes out and you don't have to look. You know, it's balanced for you. The convenience of not going to the grocery store, that you can just do everything online. You can do everything through a certain app. To where you can even program, guys, you could even program your monthly groceries to come to your door without you even looking at what you've ordered already. Like a favorites list, you know, that will come to your door, you know, once every 2 weeks, once a month. I mean, there's that delivery to where you know how long it takes to you to go through a gallon of milk. Well, you can just put it on your favorites list and it's going to be delivered to you, and it automatically comes out. You don't even have to think about what you're going to order from the grocery store anymore.
So I'm saying they've conditioned people to stay home and order everything and have it come to their doorstep.
Yeah.
I've talked to coworkers, and they said they have not even been to a hardware store in person, because they can get everything off of a website online for less. Mm-hmm. Think about that. They're conditioning people to just stay home. They're conditioning people not to own a property. In fact, it is getting more difficult, more expensive to purchase a home.
Yes.
It is. It's like you're looking at homes now and you're like, it costs that much for that? Mm-hmm. And that's all I get? Yes. Insurance is getting more expensive. Everything is being done intentionally for the 2030. Mm-hmm. She just mentioned it, for the 2030. We can back it up just a little bit so we can hear her say that again.
Competitiveness Compass and Rearm Europe. It aims to make the EU's financial market deeper and more liquid, and thereby more efficient in channeling financial resources to productive investments. It's about strengthening Europe for the challenges of the present and the future. It's part of our Readiness 2030 strategy.
You get it? Their 2030 strategy. And they know it. And they're telling everybody what they're doing. We'll go ahead and play a little bit for a couple of minutes so you can hear it.
There is strong political ambition for more public investment in Europe's strategic priorities. Yet public funding alone won't be enough. Recent communications from the Commission set a clear business case for our industries and our economy to strive. These form the basis for our political commitment. This set clearly our priorities and our direction of travel. Creating the right financing ecosystem in Europe will facilitate connecting those priorities with citizens and businesses. We must ensure that companies have the best possible path to bring solutions from research and development right through to delivery. We need to improve how we mobilize capital in Europe. The Savings and Investments Union has been designed to allow this financing ecosystem to emerge. Our strategy is based on 4 pillars. The first is citizens and savings. The second, investment and financing. The third, integration and scale. And the fourth, efficient supervision in the single market. Its implementation will be guided.
Did you get that? Did you get everything that she just mentioned, what they're going to control? They're controlling your savings. They're controlling where it's going. Did you get it? We'll play it again so you can listen to the 4 pillars that they're talking about. How they're going to control the economy, how they're going to control the savings account, how they're going to control your investments, how they're going to control where it goes, including the business part.
Strong political ambition for more public investment in Europe's strategic priorities. Yet public funding alone won't be enough. Recent communications from the Commission set a clear business case for our industries and our economy to strive. These form the basis for our political commitment. This set clearly our priorities and our direction of travel. Creating the right financing ecosystem in Europe will facilitate connecting those priorities with citizens and businesses. We must ensure that companies have the best possible path to bring solutions from research and development right through to delivery. We need to improve how we mobilize capital in Europe. The Savings and Investments Union has been designed to allow this financing ecosystem to emerge. Our strategy is based on 4 pillars. The first is citizens and savings. The second, investment and financing. The third, integration and scale. And the fourth, efficient supervision in the single market.
Which you can definitely tell there that they have a very strategic plan to where everything is going to be going into digital. It has to, in order for them to have complete control.
Oh yeah, for them to
All 4
control.
pillars.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For them to
Definitely.
control what she just mentioned.
Mhm.
Yeah, they have to go digital. You just saw her mention the citizens' savings. Why are you worried about what the citizens are saving? Why are you worried about savings accounts? Think about that. Why are you worried about people's savings accounts? And then she's talking about investing and financing. They want to supervise that. I mean, she went and on number 4 was the supervision. And when you go longer on this video, you'll see what they're doing. They want total control. And she's in charge of the banking system. She's in charge of the entire banking system in Europe. What is it that all of us will do when we want to accomplish something? We make a plan. We make a good plan, and we go in detail on how we're going to complete that plan, how we're going to have success in completing that task. They have the list of how they're going to do it. And how much easier is it to control a population unless you have digital currency?
That's right.
Unless everybody's in one system and one banking system, and all around the world, everybody's in one system. How much easier is it to control? How much easier would it be to control pastors in their church if everybody is in a digital currency and then they tell the people, nope, you can't tithe this time? What do you think the pastor's going to do? Just think about it. What do they do right now? Some of them use a guilt trip, not all of them, but some of them use a guilt trip by telling you to give money. So what do you think is going to happen when it goes digital currency? Do you think the pastor's going to say, okay, now that you can't give your digital currency every single time that you show up, then what you need to do is you need to bring something tangible to give. Remember what I'm telling you, that's coming. We need you to either bring vehicles as a tithe, we bring houses, whatever things that you have that's tangible, stuff that is worth money. Don't bring us your clothing. We need something tangible that we can sell or that we can trade. It's coming.
Oh yes, the medical department, you know, any type, you know, they have that system already in place. And the reason why I say that is because, for example, my parents, you know, they live in another town, and they, you know, have, you know, certain doctor's visits here and there. That town is pretty much like one whole hospital. You know, the name of the hospital, it's like everywhere, all over the town.
Oh yeah, that's
They
right.
have clinics of this, clinics of that, you know, this and this and that. So really, all of my parents' doctors are pretty much all over town, depending on what they're going to go see. You know, who they're going to go see, you know, the lung doctor, the, you know, joint doctor, whatever it is they're going to see. Well, they don't have to put down their information in every single clinic they walk into, because it's all adjoined, it's all one whole system. So if they go to one clinic, they already have whatever they did, you know, 2 or 3 months ago from that other clinic, and they can see everything everywhere they've been. And that, to me, I was like, well, how did that doctor know what this, you know, did you tell them, you know, make sure you tell them all the information from, you know, like carry your prescriptions, carry your, she goes, oh, we don't have to do that because it's all connected. It goes, they already know where your dad's been over here, you know, 2 weeks ago. They already have the update. They already know, you know, when we go over here, they know that, you know, he's gotten this type of care. So it's like, I'm like, okay, so you don't have to tell the doctor that, no, because he can see everything on the records. So that system is in place already.
Oh yeah.
To where, you know, everybody's connected.
Well, now all they have to do is actually put a chip.
Yes.
And combine everything together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you already heard what Trump is doing here in Texas. They're going to have the largest data center.
Yes.
Got to collect all the data.
Mm-hmm.
Let me play this just a little bit longer. Oh, it took it off.
Its implementation will be guided by the imperatives of simplification, burden reduction, and digitalization. And it will also rely heavily on implementation and enforcement. First, citizens and savings. Currently, too few European citizens make a decent return on their hard-earned savings, at least not in a simple and cost-efficient way. In Europe, we have over 10 trillion euro sitting in low-yield deposit accounts. There are good reasons for keeping money in safe bank accounts, but there are also missed opportunities. Lacking efficient capital markets in Europe, those who are motivated enough to find a way to invest their money often turn to foreign markets.
Okay, you can watch that in its entirety. I'm telling you, they're about to take control, total control of people's money.
Yes.
You just heard her by enforcement. By force.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because they are missing opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something else. Let me get you out on a good one. If you can give me number 3. All we can tell people to do right now is to prepare.
Yes.
And some people have said, we haven't done anything because our pastor doesn't say a single thing from the pulpit. He tells us that just speak things into existence. Or he tells us that everything's going to be okay. He tells us, don't worry about it. Just keep giving me your money, keep tithing, keep doing what you're doing. No, what you need to do is you need to get ready. You need to prepare the best as you can financially. You need to stock up. You need to try to get out of debt. But the most important is you need to make Jesus your Lord and Savior.
Yes.
You need to put your trust in the Lord. Because we can do all the prepping that we want. We can do all the prepping on the outside that we can. And then all of a sudden a fire or a destruction or a tragedy happens and it's all gone. And we haven't been putting our trust in the Lord. We haven't. Some people don't even know Jesus. That's your most important that you have to do today. So let me play this clip right quick.
I'm crazy. All right, I'm gonna show you crazy. I'm gonna show you crazy.
Oh, you crazy?
Hello. Oh, so short.
Esse me dá com alguém?
Nossa, nesse exato momento. Ai, 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 ai.
Ai, ai, Gabriele! Ai, você é louco!
Y'all, he's gonna be so scared. Feel like if I can do it to someone. Can I?
My question would be, which one would you be? How would you react? That would be a question. How would you react?
I think that's funny.
I wonder how a girl would react. That would have been the opposite.
Right. She probably would have went wild. Started smacking and hitting stuff.
So, guys, it's not to walk in fear, but it is to be aware of what's happening, is to know what's going on, and to prepare accordingly.
Yes.
But the most important is your relationship with Jesus. That is the most important. If you need prayer, reach out to us. We have our email that Dora's about to give out, and reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to pray for you, pray with you. And even in your area, if there's something happening in your area that is not being shown on the news, reach out to us. Let us know.
Yes.
We'll be more than happy to let everyone else know.
That's right. That's right. Want to remind you to put on your armor. You can find that in Ephesians 6:10-18. Very important to know and to understand how to do that. Also, there is our platforms there. Subscribe to us, follow, and share our content as well. There is our email information there if you would like to get a hold of us. We thank you again for joining us. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you on the next video.